Thank you. Commissioner Sprague?
I had one slight recommendation, or one recommendation for slight change to the impartial analysis wording. And what I was looking at is the word professional in there. And the choice isn't professional versus unprofessional. The choice is between career and volunteer, because during my 30-year stint in the fire service, I witnessed many career firefighters acting unprofessionally and many volunteer firefighters acting very professionally. So all I ask is in that wording that we take the professional firefighters from the County Fire Authority and put in our career firefighters potentially. Just a recommendation to consider, just because I think that word is kind of powerful.
What about something more like licensed or something that is, because career, what if it's their first year?
Yeah.
It's not their career. Is there a less, it sounds a little bit jargon, career. Is there a more technical word that would describe that category?
Not really, because by the time you're on an engine, you have a certification from the California State Fire Marshal as a firefighter 1 by the time you're running those calls. Notwithstanding the people in a volunteer organization that kind of hang around and such, but the ones that should be running the call should be firefighter 1. So I was like looking for something that's a little more benign or generic. But about the only thing I can come up with at this point is career versus volunteer versus professional versus unprofessional.
What about licensed?
Yeah,
No.
They're all licensed.
They are.
Yeah, and actually there's not a real license per se. You're certified to firefighter 1, but you do have an EMT license or certification. But
certified, you don't think is a good word?
Certified
firefighters.
Because they're both certified. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think this probably sounds like one of the terminologies that evolves into another term because now it has a negative connotation.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, this is one of those debates that goes nationwide where the majority of firefighters in the nation are volunteer, and they bristle when you say, "I'm not professional." And I understand that, I respect for that, but I could tell stories all day long about the unprofessional behavior of highly paid career firefighters all day long. I spent a career in HR working with them.
So you're proposing to take out professional and exchange it with career on the second line under voting yes?
Yeah, and barring any other maybe suggestions that might fit even better.
You should do a search and make sure it doesn't pop up in the second paragraph that we missed it somewhere. Just make sure it's consistent. I support it. I mean, I think it's a good point, and we should find the right word. And so it sounds like nobody has a better idea.
I just want a heavy, a heavy word versus professional versus the alternative, which is kind of implied by not being there, which is unprofessional. I just want to make sure that we lay it out there and don't have any protest associated with that.
I think we're trying to make a distinction between someone who's a part-time or someone who basically is a volunteer firefighter and one who is basically a firefighter by and basically that's how he makes his living.
Correct.
So maybe an employed firefighter or some word like that. But career, the connotation here is that's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
So if that's understood, I'm okay with it. But if you want to make something that's basically he's employed or that's what he does, I can't think of a better word.
Lori or Judy, do you have a comment?
Oh, I'm fine with the career.
I can't think of a better word.
I know, I've been trying.
Yeah.
I'm too. Trying.
Did you get your thesaurus out and double check?
I wished I had it.
Any other?
Madam Chair, just a couple of questions. Since this will be a recommendation going to the Board of Supervisors, just for the record, Council, Phil and I participate in that decision?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. And then on the difference between career and professional firefighter, Keen, you have any thoughts on that?
No.
So career is fine?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Madam Chair, as we've already
You're a former firefighter.
As we've already heard earlier in the meeting, it's a highly sensitive situation in that area. Might even call it volatile if there's actually capturing of equipment and raiding lockers and all of that. If you want to go all the way to the other side of that, you could go paid volunteer, because as Mr. Sprague pointed out, most of the country is covered by volunteers who do it because they love it, not because they get paid to do it. So that some distinction there, I think, is appropriate, and I think Ed would have a good feel for what the terminology should be. It's more than just being politically correct in this situation. It's really something that has an emotional effect on those that are going to be voting and live in the community.
Okay, thank you. So the consensus is career? Does that work? Okay, any other comments on the yes and no?
Do we have speakers?
I'll get that. Yeah, I was just getting comments from the commission.
The only other that I would suggest on the yes side, on the fourth line down where it says the parcel tax adopted to pay to construct the fire station will be retired. You might think of putting eliminated. Retired, I mean, it probably means the same thing, but eliminated is a little more clear and definitive.
That's fine on staff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I think anybody reading it.
Awesome. So we're going to change that. Perfect. Any other comments from staff or from commissioner? Okay. At this time, I have 2 speaker slips. So remember that there is a 3-minute timeline. Please give us your name and address when you come to the podium, and basically stay on topic on the yes and the no comments. At this time, we have Michael. And I'm sorry, Michael, I won't slaughter your last name. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Mangini, 2000 Wainola, Julian, California, and I'm newly elected to the board of directors for the fire department in Julian. And I'm going to stick to the yes and no vote. You know, the way this is written right now, it's an almost an advertisement for dissolving. I mean, that's a whole paragraph, and then under the no, it's like it doesn't exactly say what's going on. And as far as I'm concerned, the way this is written, this is almost as bad as the vote to repeal the gas tax. I think that it should be yes if we want to stay independent, no if we want to go with the county. The other thing I was noticing in this last discussion about the professional, all you have to do is leave it as county fire authorities firefighters. That's professional. I mean, that's what it is. It's just the county authorities firefighters, not professional, not career, not anything. They're firefighters. But anyway, I would like to be able to get our board together, the newly elected board, and talk this over. I mean, we weren't even, nobody even came to us and said, how should this be written? And I think right now it's so poorly written that it's again one of those people are going to do a knee-jerk reaction. Yes, we want to stay independent. No, we don't want the county to take over. So I would hope that you would get hold of the board, the newly elected board, and discuss this before it goes on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Lori Foss.
Hi, thank you, everybody. Okay, I had a couple of issues. Again, I mirror his sentiments on the yes and the no, because it is misleading to Julian residents, and their knee-jerk reaction will be to say yes. Most of us want both fire departments in there to remain safe. It's not a duplication of services. It's not a duplication of districts. It's one district. We are, per Diane Jacob, we will always have CAL FIRE. We already pay state taxes for wildland fire protection. We need both agencies in order to remain safe, as our volunteers handle the structure, medical, and vehicle accidents. And they work in conjunction, and they've done so very well over the years. Now, to make it sound like it's one or the other, when it doesn't say on the no that we would have both, if we were to vote to keep our volunteer fire department, people need to know that we will keep both agencies. And that's what our town wants, is both. We have no problem with the boots on the ground. We love all firefighters. We want all of them working together because it's not just us. We have an influx of 10,000 to 30,000 tourists during the harvest and snow weekends. And it's a death trap if people can't get to our tourists also and our residents. So, and then also too, one district, it's not duplication of services, it's not identical services, because again, the distinction is CAL FIRE's mission statement is wetland protection, which equals wildland fire protection. So they do not have duplicate services, they are not the same services, and they do not provide the same services.